mental group. The figure shows the graphical representation of the means. Results show that practicing paneurhythmy for 6 months significantly decreases the level of trait anxiety, perceived stress, while at the same time increasing resiliency. Paneurhythmy is a unique system of rhythmic group outdoor exercises for maintaining and improving health and quality of life. It puts the participants in touch with higher forms of life, such as beauty in movements, thoughts, feelings, and nature, and such as arts and virtues. Paneurhythmy is extremely accessible regardless of age, financial condition, or physical characteristics of the practitioners. It is suitable not only for people of middle age, but also for children and for elderly people. Paneurhythmy is extremely economical and inexpensive, since it does not require any special outfit, equipment, or sport terrain. It possesses the potential to achieve significant results with minimum investments and resources. It is enjoyable, socializing, and with wide and powerful positive influence on psychological state. All this improves motivation and increases potentiality paneurhythmy to be maintained regularly for a long time period, which you know is very important for every exercise program. The modern scientific studies show that regular practice of paneurhythmy can improve physical, emotional, mental, and social condition of the individual. Paneurhythmy validates the ancient maxim, a healthy mind in a healthy body. It's a precious part of Bulgarian cultural treasury and in the world cultural and spiritual heritage. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Are there any questions? No? Okay, so I will now give the floor to Mr. Ott Pärna from Estonia, who is the CEO and founder of SCAB, which can be defined as an international sport volunteers movement.
Yes, hello. Thank you for having me here. Just a second, set it up. I'm okay. So thanks again. I'm from Estonia. I'm economist by my profession. So I do sports a lot, but professionally I'm economist. And I have background in startup companies, venture capital. So currently I try to bring this knowledge into a sport arena, I would say. SCALT comes from words sport and culture, or cult, if you will, if you wish. And this presentation is about how the sport volunteering could lead to more active societies. I was giving an advice that we need to buy a bike. I do have one. So who wants to come and compete? Let's go. I did full distance Frankfurt World Championships in July this year. But yeah, biking is good. But actually I'm an alpine skier originally when I was youngster. So I still like the mountains, and I saw by playing here. So there's a saying that if you do something what you love, the money comes anyway. So you should start from a place very passionate, and then everything else comes. Otherwise life would be boring. So we do our movement thing also in this way. And while we're talking about movement, it's not a membership organization that you should pay kind of some sort of annual fee and then be a member of something. It's more that you share the values, that you are somehow in the network. You have, I don't know, like in SCALT World Web Facebook page, or you're in some sort of email list, or you're somehow connected, and that's it. And then what we're talking also about being sporty is a lifestyle issue. It's not doing sport yourself. If you have money, you support somebody who doesn't have, perhaps some youngster. If you don't know how to do something, you ask advice to some sort of coach. If you know how to do something, you coach others. It's a sort of a lifestyle issue more. In SCULT, what we do, we basically do one thing. We connect the sport event organizers and the volunteers from both perspectives. And we do it locally and internationally. Today, if you go to SCULT.com website, you see a big number of international events which are currently looking for volunteers. And you see also which are also past events, so, and you can create your own event as well. So, but now how to connect this with sort of active societies? Well, who wants to live 100 years? Anybody? I want.
I want more.
You want more? Small advice to you: don't go to doctors. It's kind of official statistics, but only 10% of personal health comes from access to care. I mean, medicine, hospitals, etc. So 50% is health behaviors, or basically lifestyle, 20% is environment, different accidents, things like that, and 20% is genetics. And genetics is also preventable. If you know that your grandparents had some sort of sickness, you can check yourself earlier. So a lot of our health is in our own hands. And even if we now want to rely on this 10% of medical things, then it's actually quite expensive. To get a new heart would cost $1.4 million US. New liver, new lungs, a bit less than $1 million US. It's extremely expensive. You're already under medical care. And the bill is this. Physical inactivity in Europe costs about 100 billion a year. In the US, which is pretty much the same size of the number of people, it's almost 600 billion a year. So it's extremely costly for society, and if societies are aging today, we can't actually pay the bill in the future. So the only way to be healthy actually to be healthy, not to visit doctors or to prevent everything. I mean, if you have emergency, you should go, but everything which is before you get sick is important, not at the moment you become sick. Because you know that people live longer now, but healthy living age is the same. Basically, different medicaments keep you alive, but you are costly at the same time, and perhaps you are not living a full life. And health, if we are talking about health is actually the function of physical, mental, and social well-being. It's not only physical, it's not only mental, it's not only social. And for example, if you are fit physically and mentally ill or socially failed, you pretty much will be physically ill soon as well. So we need to have this combination, not only physically fit. But the numbers currently are that in Europe, 2/3 of the Europeans are not moving. It's basically, I think, 3 times a week, an hour or something. And about the children, I had numbers from Estonia, 86% of children are not moving. It's kind of, I think it's an hour a day physical activity, basically, roughly. So there is a problem. And but what to do with that problem? How to kind of keep it going? It's not that, quit smoking or let's do leaflets, let's move everybody. It's something else. Now we reach to volunteering. The sport is basically based on volunteers. Every single sport club, every single sports event. Small city marathons have 500 volunteers, big city marathons have 1,000 volunteers. London Olympic Games had 70,000 volunteers. Roughly half of the staff were volunteers. And what do you think, how many people wanted to go to London to volunteer? Any kind of number? 1.2 million. 1.2 million wanted to. So it's much easier to become a sort of a city mayor of Sofia, perhaps, than to become a volunteer in the Olympic Games. Of course, London is a bit extreme. It's English speaking, it's European, etc. I think something like 250,000 volunteers applications went to Rio. But still, many people want to go to the big ones. But of course, small ones at the same time lack the volunteers. But in with these big events, actually, we want to sort of keep the social balance as well. For example, from this 70,000 volunteers, like 1/4 were youngsters, 1/4 were elderly people, and 2 times 25% were somewhere in between. To have a sort of social mix also within this volunteer exercise. And if you look now, I'm economist, I like some numbers at least, but overall in Europe, sport volunteering is quite popular. something like 77% of the population has done it somehow. At the same time, in Finland, there are numbers that from 200 people active in sport, only one is paid. 199 do it somehow differently. Even if they are coaches or they have a professional job and then they coach somebody as well. So basically, sport is based on volunteers, and sport is based on, and then basically if you need more sport events, better sport events, you basically need more volunteers. It's a sort of simple equation. In the UK, they say that 26% of all volunteers are related to sports. That sport is the most famous topic of volunteering, or singly defined topic of volunteering. And then for sport is basically based on white men, as we know mostly, or sport clubs are based. And also sport volunteering is the only field of volunteering which is male dominated. Everything the rest is actually female dominated in terms of volunteering. So if we are thinking about youngsters who are getting out from school, who are lazy to study, I mean sports and volunteering, at least volunteering in sports might bring them somehow back. In Britain the numbers are quite okay, but Estonia, screen is a bit bad, but sport is kind of fifth in terms of importance. We have like education, tree huggers, different other types of volunteering is before sports. So we have a big job to do in Estonia. But now if we look into the sport volunteering, well, in addition to that sport is based on volunteering and we do need their help, is on one side we have like social skills, which people basically get while they are volunteering, especially if you are a youngster. You don't have anything you see in your CV, but now suddenly you get a network, you should take responsibility, you get some sort of leadership skills, organizational skills, you see how an event is organized, or a bit of the event, for example, drinking point somewhere. Communication skills, how to communicate with people who are not from your classroom. Integration across age groups, across the city and countryside, different social groups, etc. And of course, teamwork, how to get something done. Because it's not one person related issue, it's the same drinking place, for example. And then you get things to your CV. If you now go to your first employer and you don't have anything professional CV, but you can show that, I went to this and that place, I mean, it's something. Especially if you compare yourself to your friends who don't have these experiences. And this is like the social skills side. And now the access to sport, I mean, it brings you closer to sport. If you see that somebody else is running 5 kilometers as well and gets a sort of a Nike t-shirt or something. So the third year perhaps you go and run yourself as well. You see that it's not only professional. Because the problem with these sport clubs is that only 15% of people globally doing sports are doing it under sport clubs. Most people do elsewhere. So but at school, youngsters only what they see is PE lesson and then professional trainings, basketball, volleyball, etc. But you need to have fit enough actually to go to professional training. But there is a wide variety of things in between, and sport volunteering might bring you closer to that. You definitely make new friends. You see stars quite closely. I was volunteering in London Athletics World Championships, and I saw Udan Bolt like you. No problem. So you're part of a team, and you see so closely. Even if you pay tickets, you won't see. Even if you're a journalist, you won't see. So it provides you something. As I said, it brings you closer to sport. It shows you new disciplines of sport as well. For example, you might be playing football, but now you go to a motorsport event. And you see how motorsport, even Formula 1 actually has some volunteers. Different ocean races of big yachts, they have volunteers in different ports. You might be discovering totally new even if you are sporting. And then knowledge how to do things professionally, these different disciplines. You might get your first medals. Quite often volunteers are given the same medals than the professionals got. Not the professionals, but if you have a city marathon, for example, you always do a bit more medals than they have participants, in case they don't like to run off. And quite often these medals are also given to these volunteers. And unless they are professional sport people, they don't have any medals before. So any kind of recognitions you will get as a diploma here once you finish this 2 days course. So this recognition is especially important for youngsters. And of course, spirit of doing sports and doing something important and sort of to have some sort of meaning. So, but to see that yes, it's voluntary, but it gives you actually much more back brings you much more closer to sports than without that. And also, if you are talking about now white-collar people, LinkedIn did a good study. We asked basically people who are in LinkedIn, extremely busy people, very well paid, etc. And 82% of these people actually want to volunteer with time. Of course, the question is that whether they have the information where to go, when to go, do they like the topic, etc. But basically, people, even if they're busy, they want to volunteer. It might be related to Maslow pyramid. They want to find some sort of meaning in their life in addition to money. 41% of hiring managers in LinkedIn say that they consider voluntary work as important as professional work. So, without any professional experiences and voluntary experiences, you might get a job. And then almost 20% of hiring managers actually say that voluntary work is important, more important than professional work. And that is, for example, if you are a manager in Red Bull, and then you want to be a sort of a synonym of extreme sport, you probably need somebody from extreme sport in your community in order to understand that community you want to be part of. So having these experiences from these sort of NGOs gives some sort of value. And now what's good with this voluntary is that it's something that you can do across your life cycle. You can be very, these girls are kind of 11, 12 years old, and it was one of the small run they provided drinks, and that you can be very old. The oldest lady was in Lahti World Championships in cross-country skiing and ski jumping was something in 92 or something. And it was in Finland, in Lahti, and the oldest Estonian actually was in Lahti, was 8 years old. The youngest was something like 16. So we see that across the life cycle thing. And then also, the tasks the complexity of tasks are different. You might be youngster in some sort of easy point. You might be some sort of location leader, you might be club leader already, or event leader, you might be trainer, coach, judge, official, so you might organize a big event. There's a very big variety of activities what to do. And what we know today also is that voluntary goes towards short-termism. People won't want to be connected to one particular golf club for the next, 30 years. They want to go to this, tomorrow is Brussels Marathon. They want to go to that marathon one day, volunteer to keep all they have, and then on Monday go off and do something totally different. So now how we link to sport clubs, which are fixed things, and this short-term voluntary activity. So it's a tricky business, but this wasn't the topic of my speech here. And one of my last slides about we understood of the Scott movement that youngsters is the most valuable sort of set of people with whom to deal. Yes, we work with different categories of society, but we have now tested in 2 schools, in Estonia and Tallinn actually, this type of school-based sport and voluntary campus clubs, which are pupil or student-led clubs, or pupil-led clubs. They do whatever they want in the field of sports. They might go hiking, they might do some sort of training in-house, they might ask some sort of Olympic champions to give a speech, they might go hiking, whatever they want to do, but they have a network to do it. And then we kind of lowered the ceiling to get access to sports. Because at school, typically we have the singing chorus. Everybody who likes music, they sometimes belong to one of kind of choir, and they sing together. They might play guitar or singers otherwise, but this is a group which connects them. And now the campus club model is what we have tested, and actually it works well. It needs work to initiate, but it works. And I do know that in Great Britain we have many of these type of campus clubs, which are especially student-led. Not that you have a boss that says where to go, and that they are not professional clubs related to professional sports. But otherwise, the professional sport or athletes might belong to that club. It's not a problem. So, but this was one of the tools, keeping in mind that only 14% of youngsters are moving. We need to do some sort of kind of a big thing in order to get them moving. Simple things won't work, in my mind. So this is a short introduction of what we do. You will get the slides. Here are my contacts. If you want to be part of a movement, go to, for example, easiest way to go to Facebook and put like to Scott World site, and you are part of a thing. And what you can do also is that I provided you some leaflets as well. We have on 3rd of November, Scott Fest, which is Sport Friends Inspiration Day. And this year's focus is sport volunteering and integration. And we will have it in Tallinn University. And the same day we have also Scout Award Kava, where we give out international sport volunteer awards in 3 categories. So you're all welcome to nominate people. And the nomination information is also at Scout common website. So anyway, it was very fun to be here. Thank you for inviting me, and hope you got something new from here. I haven't slept a minute this night, so sorry. I went to sing concert last night and then went straight to the airport, and now I'm here. So, thanks.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pärna, for your motivational and inspiring speech. I don't know if there are questions to be asked. Otherwise,
I have one.
Yeah.
Where's the mic?
You need a microphone.
Yeah, it is here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. I really enjoyed it. I actually found it, I really connected to it because I'm actually one of the volunteers here. But at least from my perspective, from the area of the world I'm coming from, it is a problem as well as Bulgaria from the discussions I had with you, Anna. Sometimes the environment and the tradition of volunteering is just lacking. Do you think that organizations such as yours can try to or can they actually achieve to the goal to actually change the notions of people who don't think that it's something normal? I've been on both ends of the spectrum. When I was younger, I tried to volunteer at my local football club. They were pretty much afraid because I offered my services to them. It was just not part of the tradition. They just said, okay, he's an outsider, what does he want to do with us? And maybe some 7 or 8 years later, when I was part of the club, when I tried to invite volunteers to help us out and to gain some experience, people were afraid, okay, our club was always closed, now why are they inviting us? And there was just not enough interest because unfortunately in some areas of the world, people confuse voluntary work with temporary work. They still think, okay, I'm volunteering for a month, but I should be compensated somehow. Maybe, okay, your costs should be covered in a way. But this kind of mentality really undermines the volunteer experiences and the volunteer initiatives all over the world. So do you have any projects in mind or any ideas in mind which could actually change this? It's really fantastic that it works in Scandinavia and the United Kingdom, where they have this whole tradition of multi-decade volunteering. It's pretty much normal to, I don't know, find a local, I don't know, badminton club in rural England where a local man will volunteer to fix the ground for 20 years or so, but it's not something that happens all around. Thank you.
Well, thanks. It's a good question, and there's a big discussion in Europe as well how to equalize volunteering across different countries. Because we know that in Scandinavia it's like a normal habit to do, but in other countries it's less. It becomes more important, and also, I mean, first you have to kind of make it cool and give the knowledge that and you get something back. Actually, it's not only that you give your Sunday or Saturday, but actually you get more back. And this it's a cool activity, and the sporting and organizers, for example, they care about the youngsters. Because if you are inviting volunteers, and if they come, I mean, you should kind of work with them as well, that you provide tasks to do, and that they are kind of have a normal feeling, good feeling from the event. What we have seen in Estonia, working with Estonian people, I mean, the earlier you start, the better it is. Especially if you're kind of 10, 11, up to 14, 15. The best group to work with, because they don't have their kind of view of the world yet. They are not that busy than people in secondary school, and they sort of a more flexible team to kind of handle. And they actually come out. And once they get good experience, they come again. And there was once a lot of study done, and they claimed that once a person does at least half a day of voluntary work, the chances that his life goes to the wrong direction would diminish by something like 80% or something. So half a day and 80% of the youngsters would choose a normal way for their life. It's an extremely strong tool actually to kind of push youngsters to the right direction. But you have to start from somewhere. For example, if you have a marathon in Sofia, then to do it publicly, visibly, the voluntary thing, example, I mean, the next Saturday actually, is Tartu Marathon, one of the running marathons in Thailand. We do a sort of a performance where we have a 9-meter platform which has a running mill on top of that, and we have a blind girl who's running, and 20 guys are carrying the frame 10 kilometers. We don't know how it happens. We have built the frame for 1 month now already, and we try to do it in a way that the media would film it, and we film some clips ourselves, and we try to provide to international media. So you have to do it somehow cool. And then there is no sort of conclusion is no simple solution, but we have to think creatively if we want to leapfrog. Because Scandinavian countries, 100 years history of volunteering. Now if we want to do it 10, 12, 20 years, I mean, we have to have creative ideas how to do it. And the school-based campus club model is actually one of the ways how we try to do it in Estonia in order to solve it. If we succeed in with these small some schools, we try to extrapolate the model to other schools as well. See, in 5 years' time I will tell you how successful we were, but I'm optimistic generally. And the material is cool because youth unemployment is so high. They want to do something with their free time. Now where they go? And so free time is here already. So it's our opportunity actually to use it.
Thank you.
My appreciation for your the project and the idea is fantastic. My question is a shared space between the first. Do you have any data, not only about the relationship between the psychological and moral values, differences, and so on between the regions, but between the economical status and the temporal volunteering, if you understand me. Because in a worldwide scope, things are different. I have a lot of experience in this field, and it was a very interesting discussion in this field also during the World Congress of Science Education in Brazil last year. So you are into the mainstream for development of this story. There are a lot of communities where volunteering is not so usual and not so welcome. Do you have any data, not only impressions, but practical data about the financial status of the region and the volunteering? Or it might be, it will be your next task to collect data in this field. Just interesting.
Yeah, I'm interested. Thank you for this question. Very good question. There are some statistics about. I was talking about the Olympic Games, and over 70,000 volunteers who are working like 2 weeks. They have calculated how much it costs, or how much additionally the state or country should pay if it would hire these people. But now the other question is whether the economic value or social value is bigger. And I would claim that social is even bigger. Because you can basically hire some sort of security company to work. But in London I saw, if you go to London Olympic Stadium, this summer, August, the World Championships in athletics, running last time, etc. Stadium was full for 2 weeks. And we had 2 types of people in the stadium serving. In addition to the professional team who were organizing, basically we had volunteers and we had security companies. And I was talking to some of the security guys. And actually they hardly knew what was happening in the stadium. They definitely didn't know who was running and why they were running. So, but if you ask a volunteer, they actually know. It means that with volunteer, you get a heart as well in addition to work. With security guys, you pay, you get only the work. But with volunteer, this pre-work it takes time. You have to sell the idea and they should come, and it takes time. And to go to a security company, they come next day. But they won't give you their heart. So this is the difference. There is one claim more in the literature is that we can't directly link that, the more equal is a society, the more voluntary work is done. But there is some sort of linkage. the more equal the society, the more voluntary work, the more leisure time, the more people do sports, the more integrated is the society. And sort of the more happy is the society, typical Nordic countries case. And now the more you have like income disparities, other challenges in the society, overall lower income, and you have less free time, less sporty people, less voluntary work, etc. So it's a sum of activities actually which goes higher if you want to, and it ends up with higher living standards as well. There are many variables which work together and then you get the results. It's not only one, but it can start with one. And the reason why it's so high, the voluntary work in the Scandinavian countries, it's after the Second World War, they started also to build up their countries. And from that time it's so that you need to give something back to the society. Yeah, it wasn't a clear answer, but there are some numbers and there are some conclusions, but not one only one solution. There are many different angles. One that works is recognition. We can show that volunteering is important, that nice guys are volunteering. I mean, we had a run in Tallinn. I mean, one guy who was volunteering was the head of Estonian stock exchange. He was volunteering with his daughter. Why? I mean, he's well paid, he doesn't have time, but now suddenly he comes out on Saturday and enjoys the day. So if celebrities do, young singers would do, then the youngsters would follow.
Thank you. Again. So with this last presentation, our conference comes to the end. However, the World Conference is not finished yet because all of us is kindly invited to take part in a practical visit at National Sport Academy, where there will be a sport event for children. About practicalities, now we're going to have a lunch break for about 1 hour since the 2:30. There is a transfer fixed to reach the university, and I can also invite you to approach the reception for those who doesn't have need the registration yet and sign for the present of today. Also get your certificate of attendance. I would like also to thank Bulgarian Sport Development Association for having organized this really interesting event and final conference. Mrs. Joanna Lucheska, Ivan Konstantin, and all the collaborators for the great and successful job. And I'm looking to you guys because where is Joanna? Okay, so family picture outside.
Okay.
All right.
Applause for